What's happening, everybody? I'm back. It's me, resident supervillain Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here with my full review for Season 1 of Amazon Prime's The Boys. Now, if you have not seen the whole season yet, please come back because there will be spoilers. I know this is late. It's better late than never because I've had so many people commenting on my review from that first episode, and they were like, yo, are you going to review the whole thing? And I've been meaning to get to it, but I hadn't had the time. A lot of things have been happening. A lot of things are in the works. So I figured I got the moment now. Let me break this down and get into it. I loved this entire season. I am more excited and pumped up for season 2 than I ever thought I would be. Now, there was a lot of people who, like I even think I said in the first episode review, were like, oh, it's too slow. Oh, it doesn't really catch me. It's not going anywhere. And they were only 8 to 10 minutes in. And then afterwards, that's when you see old girl get her shit splattered in slow motion. And then it's like from there, everything picks up. I love the take on superheroes, how they are corporate brands. The fact that if a corporation really was in this position and they could make heroes and make superpower individuals, yes, they would brand them. Yes, they would make them multi-millionaire, multi-market, commodities. Homelander is like, yeah, the kid from Brightburn grew up. And there's a meme I've been seeing about that, and I don't know if it's still floating around, where it says how America sees itself, and it says Christopher Reeve Superman, and then it's like how the world really sees the USA, and it's Homelander, and you just like, yeah, that's about right. You kind of knew he was a douchebag from the very first moment you saw him, but as things progressed later throughout the season, you saw more and more, but his crazy, twisted relationship with Elizabeth Shue's character, I was like, is she the mommy, or is she just fucking him, or is she breastfeeding him? What is he jealous because that's not his baby, or he's not the baby? I was so confused, but then when he burnt that whole face off, I was like, well, Homelander's everything we thought he was and then some. Not to mention he let like 200-some people down the plane when he could have legitimately saved them. He could have saved. He was like, man, I gotta go down and come back up and then down and up. And like, man, I don't want to do that. Like, I ain't trying, man. Look, I ain't gotta do all that. And the fact that he knew people was gonna die, so when they ran up on him, he's like, I'll burn you the fuck up. Like, calm down, bro. Queen Maeve, I really wish we would explore her relationship with the girl she had the relationship with, and it was dysfunctional. Because you saw her come back into her life like, look, I know you're an alcoholic, you got all these issues, but you stepped out on me, you were cheating around, basically I'm here for you. And I guess because of the public image of what Queen Maeve is supposed to be, she can't be bisexual or lesbian, which is crazy in the grand scheme of things because we play The Boys in real time. You know what I'm saying? It's not set in like the 80s or the early 90s where if you had somebody who may be of the LGBT community, it would be kind of taboo. So you would think that her being able to be like that, to be able to be herself and own her truth, as they would say, would be welcoming. And it just was weird, but I got it. Like, the fact she had this twisted relationship with Homelander who was like, basically, I can't see you with no one else. If you with anybody else, bitch, I'll kill you. He was like Ike Turner. If Ike Turner didn't have a process. He was like Ike Turner with no musical talent. Black Noir, I wish we'd have seen more of him. His fighting ability was amazing when he fought the woman who I didn't realize at first was Karen Fukuhara, from Suicide Squad and everything else. But if you know the graphic novel, you know that Black Noir is really a clone of Homelander. And I'm guessing, in case I spoiled it, we're going to find that out in season 2. Who else was there? There's A-Train, Homelander, Queen Maeve. I would have loved to see him Lamplighter, but the fact that he hella dead, like, yeah, okay. Starlight, I get it. You knew going in with her, she was going to be a pivotal part of this, taking down the Seven, making sure that Vought is basically brought down from the inside. The situation with her in the Deep, like, so there was a question I had posed to me by a bunch of different people, was like, did the Deep actually make her give him head? And because we didn't see it, it is implied that maybe he didn't or she stopped it. But I think he did. And I think that's why Elizabeth Shue's character tells him when he's getting shipped out, you know what you did. So it's kind of like karma catching up to him when he gets Gil finger fucked, which is the most terrifying, painful thing I think I've ever seen in my life. Rape is horrible in itself. It should never happen. But the fact old girl took like 4 fingers and was like, you finna take this. I was like, oh, I ain't even got gills. I got ribs. And then I got meat covering the ribs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, oh, like I felt it inside of the rib for him. And that was just messed up. And then you knew after that how it messed him up with him having this crisis of identity, him being butt naked, shaving and everything. And again, it's karma coming around. It's you've done this to so many people. You've tortured so many people because you think because you're a superhero, you can do what you want to whoever you want. And because you're in the 7, it makes you higher up to do it. But now it's happened to you on a lower level and no one will really even care. I just was like, that is crazy. I got to get into Huey, Butcher, Mother's Milk, and Frenchie. They are amazing together. That cast, that ensemble together is great. I wasn't super duper familiar. So I know about Black Noir because I did some research after I watched the show because I wanted to know more about this. A lot of my friends who had seen it were like, yo, you gotta read the novel. The dude who made Preacher made The Boys. And I was like, okay, let me check it out. And so I did my research on things, but to know Mother's Milk, and I was like, when he was like, that's my real name, and to see the chemistry they have together, and the fact that Huey never knew that Annie was Starlight, like, bruh, can we just get rid of that trope? I understand that's a common superhero trope. There's one little detail that you don't know. Like, well, 2 for Superman's instance, a bang and some glasses. Without a bang, without glasses. People are like, I don't know. He could just be another white guy. He might have been a jock. I'm not sure. But I don't get how he never knew that was Starlight. Like, fam, they're all in the news and the press. And the fact that nobody ever put 2 and 2 together is another thing. Homelander even says, nobody calls me John. I gave up my secret identity. I'm just living my life. I would have liked to seen what his secret identity was like. What was his normal life like outside of being Homelander and being a part of the 7? When we find out that, again, this is spoilers. So when you find out that none of the supers are natural, and by that I mean they were all created in a lab. But at the end, it changes everything because you find out Homelander has a kid, and his kid has abilities. So because of Homelander's genetics that was infused with the serum compound X or whatever it is, to know that now it came into his son, that's in his son's DNA. That's kind of like how Blade was. I'm going to switch, things like Blade mom was bitten by a vampire, and so because of that, it's in his DNA, and he half and half. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he should sue his vampire daddy for child support. Nonetheless, the craziest scene, I think, one of the craziest scenes in the whole show to me was the scene with Pop Claw when after she was freaking out trying to retrain and the dude came to get the rent. Like, yo, okay, I'm going to keep it 100. If you know you got a sexy superhero living in your building, it's already like you're starstruck, but you don't want to pressure her because you don't know if she can kill you at a moment's notice. So then when you like, yo, I need the rent. You told me you was going to have this bread. And she like, yeah, I got something else outside this rent. And you like, word? You got something else besides the rent? What is it? She was like, well, come on in. And then started to sit on my man's face. Which, first and foremost, ladies, ain't nothing wrong with getting a man sitting on his face. Let me tell you something. I've seen women where I wanted to fluff up my own cheeks like pillows. Be like, you're going to be sitting there for a while. You might as well be comfortable. So, I get it. But this fact that she crushed that Mog's head with her ass and thighs scared my soul. Do you understand, as a man who enjoys pleasing a woman, going down on her, how terrifying it is? You already know that if a woman, if you doing it good, fellas, she will cross her legs like this around the back of your head, and if you move, you will lose your life. But the fact that she was sitting there, you would think he has control to push her off, but that ass is strong and powerful, and it crushed that man's cranium and his brain spilled out. Yes, it sounded like a sermon because I felt like I needed to preach that. But that was crazy to see. It was dope seeing Haley Joel Osment in it, and for him to get what he got from Billy Butcher, I was like, let's do this. So I want to go back real quick. So at San Diego Comic-Con, Amazon had this great activation where they were talking about all the shows they were gaining. The Boys being one, Carnival Row, The Expanse. And so there was a scene where you could go, it was an electronics store, and there was a car in it. Now, at the time, you didn't know what it was. You just knew it was something. But come to find out, it's that scene where they thought they killed Translucent, who also was another dude. When he died, I was like, oh! and put plastic in his ass, and put a plastic explosive in his ass. Like, I had those moments out loud, which that's what I loved about this series. I'm super excited. Like I said, I cannot wait for season 2. The cast is phenomenal. And the ending, when I brought up Homelander's son to find out that Butcher's wife was still alive with the son, it leaves you a lot of questions, because it makes you think that, A, did Vought pay her off and have her stay away, or B, was she actually the groupie per se that Homelander says she was? And when we saw her walking out the closet, it wasn't sexual assault, it was that last minute remorse. We don't know, you know what I'm saying? We can all have our assumptions, we can all try to put our 2 and 2s together, but I guess we'll have to find out till next season, and I'm waiting on it. So this is what I want to know, what you thought about the season of The Boys. Let me know in the comments below, alright? Like, subscribe, click on the notification bell. Did you rock with the show? Did you compare it to other superhero franchises? Or did you let this stand on its own? Let me know your thoughts, all right? Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. J Washington. That's MRJAY. You should know how to spell Washington for real. You should. Make sure you are joining my Patreon, my Supervillain Squad. Patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I got a bunch of new content coming up. You're going to be part of that, and it's only $5. Also, I have chances for people to win a bunch of great DVDs and other gifts. Even a special limited edition Marvel Studios Black Widow production hat. You can win that if you're a member of the squad, okay? Make sure you're checking out the Mad Titan podcast, where I get you caught up on everything that's happening in the Marvel and DC live action and cinematic universes. It is Barbershop Talk for Nerds. Come join in the convo. I am dropping this on Monday, August 26th. If you are in Los Angeles, Thursday, August 29th at 9 p.m. at Catch One Underground in Los Angeles, 4067 West Pico Boulevard. I am doing my 1-hour comedy special. Please come out, be in attendance. You can get your tickets at www.shptickets.com. All right? I will holler at you guys later. Take care. I'm out of here. Peace.